IATA for exposing my brother's perfect fiancée at their wedding rehearsal dinner, causing her to call off the wedding? I, 28F, have always had a complicated relationship with my older brother Mark, 32M, and his fiancée Sarah, 31F. Okay, so my brother Mark was marrying this girl Sarah. And to everyone else, she was literally the aesthetic queen with her beige outfits and iced coffee pics and staring out windows all deep for Instagram. But here's the thing. My brother used to be a whole vibe with his loud laugh and video games, and we were literally besties growing up. Then Sarah entered the chat, and slowly he changed, stopped laughing, stopped gaming, got all quiet and muted, and my parents were obsessed with her. My mom literally told me to take notes from her, like, ma'am, take notes on what being boring. They thought she elevated him, but I just watched my actual brother disappear. So it's the night before the wedding rehearsal dinner at some fancy restaurant. Everyone's doing speeches, and Dad gives this whole emotional thing about gaining a graceful daughter. Cringe but sweet. Then Sarah stands up to toast Mark, and at first it's giving soulmate energy. She's like, you complete me, blah blah blah. But then she says this line, looks dead at Mark, and goes, Mark, you had so much potential when I met you. I'm so proud of the man I helped you become. You've shed all those old random layers. You finally left behind the boy who was okay with, well, with less. And then she looks at me when she says less, with this tiny little smirk. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. By this point, the wine was whining. I'd had a few, or several, we don't judge. But that comment sent me because she didn't just diss me, she erased my actual brother. She made our whole childhood sound like some embarrassing phase he needed to grow out of. So, when there was a pause, I stood up. No speech prepared, no plan, just vibes and spite. And the second I stood up, the whole table went silent. You could feel the tension. I raised my glass and said, that was beautiful, Sarah. Really, but it got me thinking about the Mark I remember. Everyone froze, I said. To the old Mark, the one who stayed up till 3 a.m. building Lego castles with me. The one who cried laughing at dumb 80s movies. The one who framed my first ugly illustration and hung it up because he was proud of his weird little sister Sarah's smile. Deleted, gone, void. I kept going. I couldn't figure out how that Mark became this Mark. Then it clicked. He didn't grow. He got pruned piece by piece. I looked right at her. You didn't help him become his best self. You just made him into someone you could stand, someone boring enough to fit your beige little world. Then I raised my glass higher. So here's to the real Mark, the loud, funny, creative one. I hope he's still in there somewhere. And Sarah, I hope one day you realize who he wasn't less than. It was just different from your tiny idea of more. I sat down, dead silence like crickets. Sarah's face went from shocked to furious. She threw her napkin down, looked at Mark and goes, you let this happen. You ruined everything. Then she stormed out. The second she left, pure chaos. My mom started hissing at me, called me jealous, called me bitter, called me a homewrecker, like homewrecker bestie. Weren't even married yet. My dad just sat there with his mouth open. The best man, he gave me this tiny little nod, like a respect nod. So at least someone got it. I left right after, didn't sleep at all that night, just stared at the ceiling, replaying everything. Next morning my phone literally would not stop buzzing. Family group chat was on fire. Half the people saying I was brutally honest, and everyone saw how controlling Sarah was. The other half calling me a jealous drunk, who couldn't stand seeing her brother happy. But the worst part, the text from Mark. One line, it said, the wedding is off. I hope you're happy. The wedding was off. 5 years, the venue, the dusty sage bridesmaid dresses, the foraged flowers from some specific microclimate, all gone. And Sarah, she posted this cryptic Instagram story about toxic family dynamics and narcissistic abuse. Like, ma'am, the narcissist in question, you, Mark, isn't talking to me. My mom says I destroyed the family. I feel sick. I didn't want the wedding to be canceled. I just couldn't let her erase him. I couldn't let her stand there and rewrite his whole history, like our childhood was something to be embarrassed about. So Reddit AITA, should I have just kept my mouth shut and let him live his beige life? Or did I do the right thing by reminding everyone who he actually was before she got to him?